Hey next door app neighbors, Mario here again, how are you? You know, we read about the increase in crime every day and we're all looking to come up with some kind of a solution that will give us a bit of an edge. And today I want to show you a product that is reasonably inexpensive, and it's going to let you know when somebody's in your yard. And these things are referred to as yard sensors or driveway alarms. And it's a very easy system to use. You basically have a sensor head that you mount in an area that you want to protect. When somebody crosses the area in front of that head, it sends an alarm warning to you in the house, and you can take appropriate action. So let's see if any of these might be for you. So this is a yard sensor or driveway alarm package, and this is a single unit option. You can buy them for a number of different units. This particular one is good for up to 8 units. In the package, you get pretty well with everybody's product. It doesn't matter what brand it is. You get a sensor head, you get a receiving unit, and you get a power cord for the receiving unit, which oftentimes acts as a charger for the battery that's on the sensor itself. And by pulling this flap down, you can plug this in and charge the battery. Now, a single charge battery will probably last you a year. If you have a unit like this, which is a solar panel on it, it will charge the battery throughout the course of the year and works extremely well even in our cold winters. On the face of the unit, you'll see that it has a sensor. So what's going to happen is you're going to mount this on a wall wherever works for you, and that sensor is going to send out a beam, and when you cross that beam, it's going to turn off or turn on the sensor and send a signal to the receiving unit. So it's a really simple process. The back of the unit comes with a mounting plate, and you have 4 screws that you can mount this onto a fence or onto your house, wherever works for you. And it does have an adjustable knuckle inside here, so you can tilt your head up and down accordingly. The receiving unit itself, this is FM based, so like an FM radio, it actually has quite a bit of distance to it. If this was Wi-Fi based, you would be limited to a relatively short distance, and you're subject to a lot of interference. When you're using FM, that's not the case at all. So this unit is probably close to the size of everything else out on the market. It's not very large. It has a speaker, it has a volume up and down control, and it will also have a choice of tones that will go off when somebody crosses the sensor beam. This particular unit is also battery operated as well, so you don't have to keep it near the plug, and it runs on a 3 battery system that basically allows you to take the unit, and this is handy for when you go testing. Now, if I was to take the battery and put it in, this one might go off right away, but you'll see that it lights, and then we have volume up, volume down. Now again, there's a number of tones that you can choose from, which I'm not going to go through right now because it's kind of long and complicated. But the pairing is super simple. You can add, like I said earlier, up to 8. And every time a sensor goes off on this unit, it shows you what zone. So if zone 1, which is here, lights up and goes off, I know that my unit, which is currently marked as number 1, you can see it's lit. I'll take the battery out for now so we don't get interrupted by the sound constantly. This is really easy to use, and you don't even need the manual for it. So, you know, don't be overwhelmed by what you see. There is adjustability on these units, and what you can do is you can change the sensitivity, and that's accomplished by taking the back off of it. And I'm going to do that, but I'll cut to it being open so you don't have to suffer through a whole video of this. So here we are with the back plate removed. I've taken out the 4 screws as well that hold the body together, and it just pulls apart like that. And if we take a really close look here, we'll see that there are dip settings here, and these basically determine which zone you want to call this. In this case, I've set this to zone 1, and that's through a series of switches here. That's really easy to figure out. This switch here is a sensitivity. It'll go from, I believe we're talking probably 8 foot, anything within an 8 foot range, a 12 foot, and a 28-foot range, depending on the sensitivity. You may think right away, I want to put this into the 28-foot zone, but don't. It's way too sensitive. You know, you're probably better off looking at the low sensitivity setting on here. The other thing that you'll see in here is this is a lithium battery, and because it's lithium, it's going to last through our winters. So it's a really easy setup. You may want to experiment with the sensitivity before you do your final mounting, just to make sure that you've got it right. And a key component to this is you don't want to mount these too low. You don't want a cat or a dog or a skunk setting this off. This is usually not affected by leaves and that type of thing, but if you've got swaying bushes and swaying trees, if it's too sensitive, it will go off. So you want to make sure you put this into an area that that none of that will affect this particular unit. So now I've got the unit back together again, and it's time to test it to make sure it actually works. So fortunately this particular one is battery operated, so I'll be able to take it with me, and as I cross the beam I'll know right away whether it works or not. Once you've got it set up, this can sit anywhere in your house. It doesn't matter if it's in the basement, it really has no effect on walls. This one goes 1,800 feet, which is quite a bit of distance. And once again, that's because it's an FM unit. So let's place the sensor, and then we're going to test it, and I'll show you the tone that it generates when it senses somebody crossing the beam. Okay, for demonstration purposes, I have this unit mounted on a metal pole. I just wired it to it, but you want to make a permanent fix when you do this. And really, once it's mounted, you can forget about it. I have this approximately 30 odd inches from the ground to the base of this unit. That's going to make sure that cats and dogs don't set this off. And I'm pointing it in a direction that swaying trees and bushes aren't going to set it off. So let's see how it works. Okay, we've got our sensor mounted, and I've got my receiver in my hand. It's battery operated, so I'll be able to show you just how this functions. So once again, you'd have this in the house. Somebody crosses the beam, and off we go. There's certainly shorter songs that you can choose than the one I chose. There's, I believe, 28 or 32 of them, something like that. So they are adjustable. So if you're looking to protect your yard, this is a really cost-effective way to do it. Yard sensor, driveway alarm, it doesn't matter, it's all the same thing. I'll provide some links in my video as usual, and hopefully this helps you out. So as you can see, these are really simple to install. All you need is a screwdriver and a place to mount the sensor head. You can do this yourself quite easily. You don't have to be a technician to do it. A lot of these units are expandable, anywhere from 4, 8, and up to 16 heads, so you can cover a variety of areas if you've got a big property. So hopefully this was some help to you, and if you do have questions, as usual, you know how to reach me on the app. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you around the neighborhood. Take care.